it has been a great weekend, that's for sure. And always good to see all the people surrounding us and coming to the weekend. Under the sunshine, it's been very hot indeed. And we could see also with the drivers in the shadow, Arno Kozlinski, who is the mechanic and close friend, close advisor of Monlau Boyer, the Frenchman. But the senior, as always, is certainly the category that we expect the most. You can hear the music, and the drivers are about to make their way onto the track under the music and the sound of the IMA Euro Series. This is always a display of colors, helmets, racing suits, and all the drivers, the 36 best of them. Ruben Moya, you can see him with the 2 or 3 machine drinking water. He will have certainly he will need a lot of water in the coming minutes to try to get him to cool down a little bit and to put him into his focus zone. Ruben Moya has been one of the contenders of the series ever since the start of the season. Before coming to Franciacorta, he was actually third in the overall classification, winner in Zuera in the opening round. Khali Atkins, the driver who's going to be starting on pole position, was the winner in Mariembourg in totally different conditions. It was pouring rain in South Belgium. This time around, we had a bit of rain on the Friday, but the conditions have been absolutely superb since yesterday, and it should be no different until the end of that final.
Yes, indeed. Well, there you saw a quick look at Eduardo Villa just making his way out onto the circuit in the 207. He starts this one on the 11th row, 22nd, after a disaster in qualifying. He has had a lot of work to get up to that spot for this final. Remember, there were 107 senior entries into this weekend. It's whittled down to 36 now, and certainly an absolute tight one out there as well. It has been an adventure for a lot of these drivers, but the senior class will conclude round 3 of the IAME X30 Euro Series at Franciacorta. From an impressive entry list of 107 drivers of 14 years plus, only 36 are left for the long-awaited final. Competitors are using the most powerful 125cc engines on the field, unrestricted, with competitors having 30 brake horsepower and 19.5 Nm of torque, and running the softer of the 2 compounds, the MG tyres, the yellow compound, the fuel again provided by Panta. And of course, the drivers having to meet that minimum weight of 158 kilos, with the driver included at the end of this one. Final number 3 about to get underway. The last race of the weekend for round 3 of the IAME Euro Series, and there is your driver starting on pole positions. Khali Atkins qualified 20th on Friday in the wet conditions, finished 2nd in his first heat, 3rd in his second, 2 heat wins, and then a 3rd at the end of the day. He won his super heat earlier on today as well. He comes away with 10 championship points, and that puts him in the lead of the championship from Eduardo Villa by just 2 points going into this final. Evan Giltaire then, who put it on pole in qualifying in the wet conditions, who was some nearly a second faster than the rest of the field, who were querying whether or not he cut a corner. He can confirm he didn't, and we can also confirm he did not. He was very quick out there. He won his first 2 heats of the day, 3rd in his second. He won his 3rd heat, came 5th in his last heat, and finished 3rd in the super heat. He finishes 2nd overall and comes away with 9 championship points, certainly helping out his tally. He moves himself into a good position, but he's still not within the top 8 in the championship at the moment. A very tense situation over in a moment, but this is going to be a good one.
We're getting ourselves ready for the senior category final, and this man on your picture, Khali Atkins, will be starting from pole position. Fantastic piece of driving as he was climbing through the ranks from further back after a difficult qualifying on Friday. But Khali Atkins is now your current leader of the overall classification in the senior category after almost 3 rounds of the IMA Euro Series. The hardest part is yet to come for Khali Atkins after his win in the wet in Marienbourg, confirming his pace and progress to the ranks this weekend by a win at the end of this final. This will be certainly no easy task, especially with this man by his side. From France, Gigi Evan Giltaire, representing PB Kart for the first time competing with this team here in Franciacorta in the IMA Euro Series. Evan Giltaire has been one of the contenders all throughout the weekend, picking up pole position on Friday and 3 heat wins on Saturday to put himself on the outside of the front row.
Sam Shaw for Premium Karting, starting it on the inside row. 3rd place, he's got Shaw Senior alongside him in his fabulous hat that he always likes to wear in these sunny conditions. I am a fan of that hat. Yeah, Sam Shaw's had a fabulous run this weekend. 7th in qualifying, 3 second places, a 3rd and a win. He finished 2nd in his Super Heat earlier on as well. He comes away with 8 championship points at the end of that one. Monlau for the 2N Racing Team, starting alongside, and he certainly has also had an interesting day. 5th in qualifying, he had a 6th, 2nd, 3rd, another 2nd, and a race win at the end of the day. He finished 5th in the Super Heat earlier on today as well. He comes away with 7 championship points. Also, Ruben Moya, we saw him and Luca Griggs just consoling each other before the start of this one, wishing each other luck, and the Spaniard, who was 3rd in the championship last year, sees himself starting this one P5 on the 3rd row. He did have an interesting qualifying P4. He won his first race of the weekend in the wet conditions on Friday. Saturday saw a 3rd, 4th, 2nd and 3rd, and the Super Heat earlier on today is in finish 9th in that race. What can he do in this one? Moya currently sitting 4th in the championship. Only 2 points separate the top 3-4 drivers. Atkins leads, but there's only a couple of points that separate a lot of the drivers. It is so close in the senior category going into the final round. It is going to be an exciting one.
We just saw Clement Outran, who's going to be starting for P6 on the grid. Clement Outran, one of the surprises of the weekend with VDK Racing, even though he picked up a penalty in his super heat, which means that he's not starting certainly where he would have wanted. Further back, we have Eloi Gonzalez from Britain, driving for Premium Karting at the wheel of his Lando Norris machine. 7th on the grid for Eloi Gonzalez, who picked up a 2nd and a 3rd place as best result in his heat. He was 3rd in this morning's super heat. 3 minutes left on the board before we get going for the senior final. Watch out as well for this young man for VDK Racing, Sam Balota, the multiple vice champion of Belgium, who's going to be lining himself up on 8th on the grid, a 2nd and a 4th place as best result. He was 5th in this morning's super heat. Sam Balota is always there when it counts, and when especially coming down to the final, we could see Giorgio Pantano on the right side of your picture, the head and founder of the team of the same name and of the chassis that has been doing wonders with Ruben Moya in this class. Hugo Besson from VDK Racing from 9th on the grid, representing France. He picked up a 2nd and a couple of 4th places in the qualifying heats throughout the weekend. Hugo Besson, always a danger that can come from behind, and he's going to be 9th on the grid, running up the top 10 with one of his fellow countrymen by his side, representing the KBK Racing Team. This is Andy Rattel. That's going to be 10th on the grid. Watch out for Andy Rattel in the qualifying heats. He's been always up there with a 4th place as best result. 4th was also this result in this morning's super heat. The top 10, so many different protagonists in the senior class, even outside of that upper part of the grid. Pick your name, put your money on, but you might be surprised because we're going to have 17 laps to go through to decide who's going to be stepping on the podium.
You honestly, you can't put it on one driver in this one, can you? How close the championship's been, and how close and how many different race winners we've had over the course of this weekend at Franciacorta in the north part of Italy. There you can see Ross Upton just coming to the middle of the grid. The 1 minute board goes up as we get ourselves primed and ready for this one. 36 drivers. Beautiful shot there of the starting grid.
I do love that shot as well. You know, these are the young beasts still sleeping but ready to unleash themselves And these are the few moments of calm before the storm. I love it.
You can imagine the temperature is rising under those helmets. The tension is rising as well as the track temperature also. That will be the hottest it's been all weekend. The sun beaming down on us here at Franciacorta, and there you can see the mechanics who have just had to clear the grid ready to watch this race. There again, that beautiful shot there just from the top of the new hotel that's being built here at Franciacorta. Fabulous location of it, right on the apex of one of the final corners. What a view you'll have out your bedroom window if you're a guest in that hotel. Certainly looking forward to when that's open. But this race certainly about to get underway. Who is going to take it, Atkins or Giltaire? The front row, both of them who have had a roller coaster of a weekend. As the whistle blows and the engines fire up, it is the last race of the weekend. It's Senior X30, and it's the next race coming up. Let's have a look then at the starting lineup. Khali Atkins and Evan Giltaire go from row 1. Sam Shaw and Monlau go from row 2. Ruben Moya and Clement Outran round out the third row, and the top 6 on the grid. Louis Johnson-Cool and Sam Shaw go from row 4. Hugo Besson and Andy Rattel round out row 5 from Eloi Gonzalez and Ian Ekman on row 6. Luca Griggs and Danny Carinini go from row 7. Finn McLaughlin and Henkie Kalteren go from row 8. Eli Goldstein and Julian Kamen round out row 9. Jules Caranta and Mark Lepiccolo round out row number 10 of the top 20.
Row 11, we'll see Marcos Luzio and Eduardo Villa, what a line that is. Dante Vinci and Kevin Lantinga follow on row number 12. Then we have Rafael Perar and Enea Frey, row number 13. 14, we'll see Eduardo Dominguez and Andrea Pirovano. Then we have Paco Muesenberger and Arturo Vosor on row number 15. Row 16, Andrea Moretti and Luca Betonni. Dimitri Matveev and Mathis Mascot on row 17. And the 18th and last row, Arnaud Malaysia and Leonardo Logoni.
Well, here we go then as the formation begins. Drivers warm up their tyres, get everything prepped, ready to go in this one. Like you said earlier on, Guillaume, 17 laps, the longest race these drivers will have had to do over the course of the weekend, the longest race we will see over the course of this weekend. And, well, I've got to say, out of the 3 rounds that we've had, I've enjoyed every single one of them. I enjoyed Zuera, I enjoyed Marienburg, despite the rainy conditions. I have thoroughly enjoyed Franciacorta, the circuit, absolutely fantastic. Facilities here, absolutely top of the scale in terms of what they can provide. And the venue here has certainly been a beautiful host for the 3rd round of the championship.
These are some of the mechanics, of course, lining themselves on the grandstand alongside the track. And you might be able to hear them scream a little bit to the drivers as they come around on the start-finish straight. Don't get alarmed. This is normal. This is the communication as it happens at every race between the drivers and the advisors on the sideline with that sign language that's sometimes so difficult for us to clearly understand from one lap to the other. But this is the way it goes. No radio whatsoever. Just the signs and everything that's happening on the sideline to help them perform at their best.
Here we go then into the tram lines. Green flag goes out. Atkins gets a lightning start. So does Shaw, Moya and Johnson-Cool, who sweep into 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Side by side as Giltaire's on the outside line there. He tries to find his way through and he does, but he has to slot into P5. Everyone tries to slot through in towards turn number 5 now as they go side by side through the entire pack, but everyone finds a piece of tarmac to plonk those 4 tyres on safely as they now negotiate their way around the 2nd half of the lap. Through sector 2 they go, and it's still a lightning start as Moya dives to full 2nd place, gets past Sam Shaw, and a straightaway a shake of the head from Sam Shaw. Not happy with that, and look at Moya, go, go, go. He might have an issue with his kart because it just wasn't going there, and runs wide out of the hairpin. He misses the braking zone after a bit of contact. 2 drivers have come together, the 207. Oh, it's Villa, Eduardo Villa. The championship leader going into this weekend has seen himself retire from this race. He has just lost any chance, potentially, of winning this championship with that mistake.
And Evan Giltaire clipping the curb. Contact! Evan Giltaire is out as well of the track with Johnson-Cool. By the look of it, it was. And Giltaire is back on from the grass. But unfortunately, yes, Johnson-Cool as well. But look at his front nose, actually misplaced completely. Those two coming together in turn number 5. Giltaire was going for the move on the inside, and unfortunately, it just all went bananas on the exit.
Well, they go into this weekend and into this race, and there on your screen. Another retirement coming in. Dimitri Viv, who didn't start. Andrea Privano, who I also don't think started. I think that's him actually there. And Eduardo Villa, who has also retired from this race. Well, drama at the start of this one. Atkins leads, though, from Moya and Shaw, and they've got a little bit of a breakaway now. Malabolier, Besson, and Gonzalez still there in 4th, 5th, and 6th. They close up. They've got the close company of Zambalota, who's there in the 206 in P7. Goldstein's still there. Eichmanns is still there, and Rattel still there in the top 10.
Yeah, what a nightmare that is for some of the protagonists.
There goes Moya.
Around the inside. Yeah, Ruben Moya indeed. The Spaniard taking the lead for the first time of this final into lap number 3. Ruben Moya, you might remember in Marienburg, was nowhere to be seen, even though always fast in the rain. But he explained to us that he couldn't actually put his finger on the right setup back in Belgium as one of the GP racing drivers, Ian Ekmans, I think, clipping the curb on the outside of turn number 14. But Ruben Moya with a Pantano machine working perfectly in those conditions, really back on top of his game. And Khali Atkins as well is going to try everything that he has, all the tricks in the books to defeat the Spaniard. Sam Shaw in P3, Mario Boye climbing to P4 in front of Eloi Gonzalez in P5 at the moment. Then we have Hugo Besson, Eloi Gonzalez, Sam Balota, Ian Ekmans, Danny Caronini out in the top 10. But look at the names that we've lost in the process. Clement Outran is nowhere to be seen. He's all the way down to P14. Currently, the VDK driver that was so efficient in the qualifying heats. In the meantime, around the outside of turn number 14 goes Mario Boye on Sam Shaw, the Frenchman, upper place. And you can see on the sideline the premium machine of Johnson Cole. He's going to have to retire, unfortunately, Louis Johnson Cole, who had to line himself up just outside of the last hairpin.
2 points, or actually 1 point, separates the top 2 in the championship, the virtual championship. Ruben Moya with 67, Khali Atkins with 66, if they finish in this order. Moya, Atkins, Bollier, Shaw, Gonzalez, Besson, Goldstein, Eichmanns, Balota, McLaughlin, who's now up into the top 10. Big movers so far in this one. Leonardo Lagoni, who is up into P25, 11 positions gained. He would like to forget his superheat he had earlier on, as down the inside there, the 2-4-3 of Eloi Gonzalez gets the move done on Sam Shaw and moves up into P number 4 now. Besson follows as well. Shaw down into 6th place. Still no change at the front, though. Moya still leads. Atkins right on that rear bumper. Both of these drivers have had race wins over the course of this weekend, and one of them is going to come away with the final win this weekend. Or will it be Bollier, who is closing in? He's all on his own, and he's got no threat there whatsoever. He is just pushing up to these two. We might have a three-way battle before this race is over, as McLaughlin sets the fastest lap of the race. He is still making his way through the top 10. He's there in P9. He has certainly made good positions, as Goldstein's made 10 positions so far in this race as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a true thriller between those two. Moya, Atkins in the penultimate corner. Then we have Mario Boye, Gonzalez. Look at them actually pushing each other, building that gap for more than half of a second on Boye down in 3rd. There's going to be a long way, as Evan Giltaire is dropping another place to Rafael down in P19 in front of Marcus Luzio in P20. Another of the protagonists that we've seen climbing through the ranks of the qualifying heat, unable to do the same into the final. But not only did we lose, as we said, Clement Outran dropped a couple of places down in 12. We Henkie Kalteren struggling down in P14. Julian Kamen, who lost 7 places all the way down to P25.
Oh, a lot of dust kicked up in the background there. Sorry, Guillaume. Just wanted to see if anyone had gone off the track. I think someone did, but they're all back on it now. So, yeah, drama somewhere in the field. Sorry, carry on. It's
just outside of your overview, actually. But thanks to the sacred cameras that we have plenty in the box, we're able to have all the eyes wide open on every single corner of the track. But now just picking up on the names that we've lost as well. Louis Johnson Cole, Eduardo Villa, Dimitri Matveev, and by the look of it, Marcus Luzio. It might be the reason of that test that you've seen, because Luzio as well is lost in that classification. Might be a DNF, unfortunately, for the former VDK driver competing with premium karting. Another, if confirmed, a DNF for the same British team.
We cut back to the battle a little further behind. This is 3rd and 4th. Malabolier and Eloi Gonzalez. Gonzalez with the fastest lap of the race now is certainly making moves here. and is up several positions. Keep an eye on that one because he could also get into this battle. 9 laps to go in this race, not long left, and there is a move. Gonzalez gets it done and moves up into 3rd now in this race and is on the charge now to try and close up to those front 2. Can he do it though? Because there he is, trying to get through. Warning flag going out to Enofre. So that'll be another one over the course of the weekend. Enofre not having the best one. Currently in 20th place in this race. Still up several positions, though. 6 places gained as we keep our eyes on this one. Weisenberger now with the fastest lap of the race. He's in P17. And I've got to say, the gap was 0.4 of a second between the front battle and the 3rd place battle. And I think it's come down just that fraction more. Yes, it has. Look how quickly Gonzalez is closing in. Eloi Gonzalez now latching onto the back. And look how much he closes up under braking here. 4-way battle for the race lead. Did anyone order one of those?
Well, I certainly did, because that's always what we expect to have at the end of a senior final. But that's all for the better of the viewers. And you guys have been plenty tuning in from all 4 corners of the world throughout the weekend to follow round 3 of the IME Euro Series. Coming down to the wire now, as we have Ruben Moya, Khali Atkins, Eloi Gonzalez, and maybe, just maybe, Mario Bouillet and Ian Ekmans if they're able to catch up. We still have 7 laps to go after this one. And it would be a smart move to pick up your winner already. As further back, look at the battles that we have plenty into the field. We're on board here with one of the VDKs, 257. Further back into the classification, that's Clement Outran, who keeps on fighting his way. But unfortunately for the Frenchman, who was so brilliant on Saturday, is losing place after place. He's down in 17 at the moment. Certainly one of the best racing weekend he's had with the Belgian team. Couldn't actually emulate that performance the way he would have liked on Sunday afternoon. This will be certainly for Genk, as we have a switch of position up into 2nd place. Eloi Gonzalez is now the new chaser to Ruben Moya. Khali Atkins still not panicking too much, but Ruben Moya in that position is taking the lead back of the championship for 5 points clear on Khali Atkins. Still very much provisional at this point. Remember that we have 1 round to go after this one, as we will be going by the end of August to the Home of Champions in Genk to decide who will get their hands on this year's titles. But Ruben Moya, once again, putting himself back into the circle of protagonists.
Eloi Gonzalez started this race in P11. He is now fighting for the race lead, and he gets it done through turns 2 and 3. Spain's Eloi Gonzalez leads the way in this Senior X30 final for round 3 of the IAME Euro Series here at Franciacorta, and he is looking very, very strong out there. Ruben Moya could do absolutely nothing to defend from the charging Eloi Gonzalez now, who is starting to drive away. A little bit of a look down the inside there from Moya that time around through the exit of turn 10. They go through turn 13 and look at the gap. 2 kart lengths already is the gap. Even the slipstream's not helping there for Ruben Moya. He is losing touch here with Eloi Gonzalez, and Gonzalez is starting to drive away. Look at the gap now, 0.2 of a second across the line. Is there anything Moya can do to close up? He does close up through turns 2 and 3. There is still something in Ruben Moya's kart here. He's got something left in the bag as they go through turn number 5. We are running out of time in this race. Keep an eye on Atkins, though. Atkins there in 3rd place, ready to pick up the pieces. At the moment, Ruben Moya leads the championship now. Ruben Moya and Khali Atkins are joint on points. 62 championship points apiece if they finish in these positions. Have you ever thought of going into the final round of a championship with the first 2 drivers joint on points? That will make Genk very interesting in Belgium, and a reason why you should be following the IAME Euro Series in 2023. But right now, Eloi Gonzalez is doing everything he can to maintain this 1st place position. Malo Bollier is under investigation. He's currently sitting a little further down the order. He's not done too well. No, he's actually P4 at the moment. Lagoni also under investigation, as now Atkins starting to close in. Bollier still there as well. Eichmann still there. McLaughlin, Goldstein, Shaw, Besson, Caranta, the top 10. All eyes on this top lead battle, though.
And by the look of it, Eloi Gonzalez seems to have a little bit the upper end in terms of proper pace into the straights, but into the corners, it seems to me that Ruben Moya is having a better exit in and out of the corners, as you could actually see it pretty much here on side of the hairpin. But that's a fantastic display, not only of driving skills, but the diversity of chassis as well, as we have the Red Speed in the lead, we have the Pantano in second, we have the CROC in third, as behind the Car Republic of Monlau just lost a place to the GP driver Ian Henkmans. So watch out for the return of Henkmans with the Tony Kart machine, who's going to try his best to put himself in the fight for any of the top 3 positions left. Ian Henkmans, who climbed from 12 on the grid, and the Belgian driver who won last weekend in the IAME Series Italy, is back in the contention, and let's see what he can do, because we haven't seen much of Ian Henkmans through the round of qualifying heats. He was a little bit in the second group trying to find his way through with not so much luck here and there, but he's always there when it counts. And look at him actually coming back, taking Henkie Kalteren and Monlau, who lost another position, unfortunately for the Frenchman. He finds himself at the tail of that wagon of drivers, as we have the top 6 pretty much in the same picture. Eloi Gonzalez down in P7. Gonzalez hasn't been able to really put that finger of that fine right tuning for the Sunday. Sam Shaw down in P8. Hugo Besson Caranta, your top 10 at the moment, but the focus is on the battle for the lead. The battle just for the victory, but not only as well for the lead for the championship. 62 points, as you said, equal points for Ruben Moya and Khali Atkins, respectively first and third. But who will have the upper hand? Do we have a big surprise on our hands with the recovery of Eloi Gonzalez? Another fantastic recovery from some of the protagonists from the back end of the grid. That's what we like to see. Here we go, final lap, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go then, ring the dinner bell and bring these boys home. Here we go then, in towards turns 2 and 3. Moya not able to get a run down the start-finish straight and into that first corner again. Looks over the shoulder. Has he got an opportunity here in towards turn 5? No, he doesn't. Stays behind. No even lunge even attempted there, as they now negotiate their way through the second half of the circuit. Now, Eloi Gonzalez under pressure here, but not flaking whatsoever. Look at the closing distance there. Moya could go for a move here. No, thinks against it. Looks down the inside just that little bit. It will be one more attempt to go into the final corner, and it has been a challenging championship. Ruben Moya won in Zuera, Khali Atkins won in Marienburg. We're going to see another third different winner in the IAME Euro Series in Senior X30. Eloi Gonzalez wins across the line in a dominant performance. 10 positions gained. He started P11, he came through the field, and look at that. Look what it means to him. Even Ruben Moya is like, get in there, lad. Get in there. What a drive. What a drive.
What a drive and what a victory for Eloi Gonzalez. And look at the congratulations from Ruben Moya. The Spaniard, of course, congratulating themselves. Ruben Moya knows that he's done anything that he could. Maybe he get a little bit under the pedal just to make sure to secure that second place and the lead in the overall championship, even though he would have preferred to build himself a bit of a gap on Khali Atkins, completing the podium and second to the championship on equal points. What a final that's going to give us down in Genk, the home of champions, to crown this year's champions by the end of August. And this young man could be, maybe not for the title, but for the win certainly in Belgium. Another strong contender after that fantastic display of racing skills and pace. Eloi Gonzalez Moreno from Monlau Competicion winning in Franciacorta, and Ruben Moya, who makes it 1-2 for Spain. Bravo, España. Eloi Gonzalez and Ruben Moya 1 and 2. Khali Atkins running up the top 3. Ian Henkmans came very close, just 2 little tenths missing on Khali Atkins to try to step on that podium. Henkie Kalteren running at the top 5 with a 10 recovery for him. Monlau down in 6th from Henkie Kalteren. Then we have Sam Shaw, Hugo Besson, Andy Rattel. Back on Wisenberger, 18 places recovered up to P11. From Sam Balota, Jules Caranta, Luca Griggs, Danny Carinini and Clement Outran down in P16.
Well, the rest of the field there in P17, Enna Frey, who did receive a warning flag in that one. 9 positions gained, finishes in that spot from Henkie Kalteren. Evan Giltaire, the driver who started on that front row, sees him finish all the way down in the order, and look what it means to these two. Look what it means to these two. What a result for those drivers. Eloi Gonzalez there being congratulated by his fellow teammates and fellow competitors out there. Rafael Perard and Leonardo Logoni finishing the top 20 and 21st place. Logoni gaining 15 positions in that one. What a drive. But again, you got...
Look at that.
I mean, you can...
He's not realizing, you know, these are the precious moments of emotion. And it's really that moment when everything cools down a little bit and you have those few seconds to realize the magnitude of your achievement, because there's so much intensity, pressure throughout the race that when you go back to stop, you're like, wow, what just happened? Did I really win? And yes, you did, Eloi Gonzalez, and congratulations to you. Congratulations as well to Ruben Moya and Khali Atkins for a perfect drive and a lot of entertainment.
Well done to you all three. Well done to the senior finalist in Franciacorta. Please welcome back Mr. Bernardo Ettore, the owner of the Franciacorta circuit, to give out the trophies to Khali Atkins. Well done to you, Khali. Second place goes to Ruben Moya. And finally, his first win of the season, Eloi Gonzalez. Congratulations, Monlau Competicion and Pedro Hilbrand. Bravo! Congratulations to the Spanish team and to the Spanish driver, Eloi Gonzalez. Raise those trophies in the air, please, guys, for the pictures, and you can join Eloi on the first step of the podium for the books, for the memories. And Pedro is getting closer as well, of course. Thank you for joining us here, Pedro, representative of Monlau Competicion. Congratulations to everybody. What a final that had been. What a day of racing we've had for the first time in Franciacorta in the IAME X30 Euro Series. And finally, for the last time, we can celebrate in Champagne Shower the well-deserved results. 3, 2, 1, champagne! And Ruben Moya had the worst of it. I don't know what it did to you guys, but I might have an idea. But this is payback, certainly. Well done to you three. And just before we're going to say goodbye to you guys, Eloi Gonzalez, don't go too far, because let's hear some of your thoughts. And it's going actually out of frame, trying to arose in champagne. Pedro Hilbrand, last show of champagne for him. If Eloi can join us for just... 1 or 2 questions to hear from the winner of the senior final, first win of the season. That's worth hearing how it went on track. Thank you for coming back here, Eloi. And then we'll let you, of course, celebrate with the team. All right, you can come a little bit closer to me. Don't be afraid. What a race, Eloi Gonzalez. What a win. But you had to fight very hard for this one.
Sí, la verdad es que la carrera ha sido bastante dura. Hemos salido en 11ª posición y, bueno, poco a poco hemos ido adelantando, hasta que al final hemos llegado a ponernos primeros y a partir de ahí a tirar y hemos podido ganar al final. Y muchas gracias al equipo Monlau, que siempre está apoyando detrás, y a todos los que están detrás de todo esto, que es muy grande.